Hey guys, this is Anita. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my non-spoiler review of The Sword of Kaigen by Wang. I finally read this self-published Japanese-inspired military fantasy. This is very popular among booktube, but many people have problem with pacing in the beginning of the book. I didn't have that problem, but I have a similar problem. Before getting into details of that, I want to give brief summary of the book and then talk about what I liked and what I disliked. This book is set in small village in Kaiganese Empire. People in this village are warriors with the head of the village as Matsuda family. These people are first and powerful defense of the empire against enemies. That's the reason this village is called Sword of the Kaigen. We mainly follow two characters. First one is Misaki. She is the wife of one of the Matsuda brothers. She is a housewife now, but 15 years back she was also a fighter. Misaki's marriage suffers from lack of communication. We see her struggling as a housewife. She was very well educated and a fighter, but she got married into this traditional family where women can't talk back to man. It's very sad reading her current life, but her struggles and her character are very realistic. In the starting of this book, lot of focus went into Misaki's life and sexism in this household. It was too blunt and right on our face. I understand many people have problem with this, but I was hooked from the beginning. Being from India, I have seen similar characters a lot in Indian cinema. I have seen similar struggles in real life, so they're very relatable. We also follow Mamoru, who is Misaki's son. Misaki has 4 sons and Mamoru is the eldest. He's 14 years old, ambitious and works hard to master his family's fighting technique. The book started with school setting. Mamoru along with his friends attending classes and getting trained was fun to read. We learn most of the fighting techniques in Mamoru's POV. A new kid joins their class. His family recently moved to this village. His father works in some communications company and they have traveled and lived across the world. One day in history class, when teacher was teaching history of Kaigan, how well they fought against enemies without any casualties, this new kid disagrees. Mamoru and the new kid got into a serious argument. Mamoru believed whatever he was taught from childhood, but the new kid tries to tell him what exactly happened. And Mamoru stumbles across a big clue which proves what the new kid was telling. That's when Mamoru begins to understand that their kingdom was lying to them. It completely shatters his beliefs and he struggles to deal with that. I really loved the way Wang executed the whole concept of propaganda. I generally don't have patience with people who believes in propaganda, but she made me look at it in a different perspective. It was one of my favorite scenes in the book. Magic system is elemental magic system similar to Avatar the Last Airbender. It's not the same but almost similar. Most of the people from Kaiganese Empire are Jijakalu, that means they can manipulate water, and some people like Matsuda family are powerful Jijakalu. Other countries have Tajikalu warriors who can manipulate with fire and Fonukalu warriors who can manipulate with wind. Wang did an amazing job with action scenes. They are exciting and terrifying at the same time. I caught myself feeling both I want more and I want it to end at the same time. And the book doesn't end with fighting and war. It also dealt with aftermath of the war and rebuilding the village. I really like that part. Since the village is full of warriors and everyone is involved in war, the loss is personal, rebuilding is personal. It also talked about government and corruption and how important is good leadership. It was really well done. This book also has one of the most beautiful female friendships. I really enjoyed reading those moments. I wish there are more of those. My only problem in this book is Wang tends to repeat some things. For example, there was an action scene which involves Misaki. In the middle of the fight, Wang tells us that if she had applied a different technique, it would have been better. But after 4 kids, Misaki wasn't agile anymore. So she applied a different technique. It wasn't that effective. She keeps telling us, I understand completely that Misaki isn't agile anymore after 4 kids, but it doesn't need to be repeated again and again with every moment and technique in the fight, in my opinion. When people complained in the beginning of the book about things too on our nose. I think this is what they meant, but it did not bother me in emotional scenes, but it definitely bothered me in action scenes. Also, I did not care about the last chapter, but I totally ignored that. Overall, I gave 4.5 stars. I highly recommend this book. And audiobook is also very good if you are into them. If you have already read this book, let me know your thoughts in comments. See you in the next video. Bye bye.